Hey guys, CL Cannon of Fiction Atlas Press bringing you another Feel Good Friday author interview. Every week, I strive to bring you inspiring tales about the author journey. Today I'm here with romance author Coral McCallum. Well, thank you first of all for agreeing to do this interview with me.
Okay, thank you for having me. And apologies for all that chaos at the start.
Oh, it's alright. Well, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your books?
All right, where do I start? Okay, so I just keep telling folk I'm just wee me. I'm married mother of two teenagers, and I have always written on and off, but when the kids came along, it felt easier just to put that to one side for a while. And then as they grew up, I thought, I could maybe pick this back up again. And a couple of characters have been floating about in my head for a very long time, so bought the notebook, bought the pen, literally sat down in the sun one night and started writing. So the story just started off as a story to see where it would end up, and it gradually evolved. And Jake and Laurie, the central characters of the Silver Lake series, grew stronger as characters. And 3 books later, here we are. So.
That's great. What sparked your love of writing, and do you know how old you were when you wrote your first story?
Oh, I've always loved books. My mum's a great reader and a great lover of books. So, even as a tiny little girl, she would be taking me to the library and buying, borrowing the picture books and reading me stories. So, almost as soon as I could string a sentence together, I was trying to write stories about one sort or another. Or, my friend and I, when I was about 7 or 8, we would try and write wee plays and put on plays in the garden for the neighbours, that kind of thing. So. But then I suppose once I get into high school and you're getting taught a bit more of the structure of writing, then I started to think seriously about it. So I probably spent a few years after high school trying to write short stories and submit them to magazines, but without much success. So then, as I say, children came along and that got parked for a good number of years.
They do that.
I know. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes. You were talked about, learning more structure and everything, and this kind of goes into it. Do you have like an outlining process? Are you more of a pantser or a planner? And if you do have a process, how do you structure that?
I'm quite haphazard. I've got a writer friend who plans to the nth degree, so I must be her worst nightmare because the plan tends to be a kind of few key scenes that I've jotted down and odd other bits that I want to add in. And then occasionally you'll stumble across a name and you think, well, that would be a good name for a character. So there's a post-it stuck to the plan, and by the time I'm done, there's just this mess of bits of paper. But they make sense in my head, but they wouldn't make sense to anybody else.
That's how I do. I just have like little bits of dialogue here. There's notebooks full of different things, and nobody else would be able to make it into a story but me.
Yeah. Well, with Bonded Souls, the one that's coming out this weekend, I had a scene in my head that I wanted to write, and I'd got so far through the first draft, and I hadn't written that scene yet. And then the more I thought about it, I thought, there's not time in my time frame to include this. Mm-hmm. So I wrote the scene on its own, thought about it a wee while longer, and thought, no, I need to bin about half of what I've just written to put this scene in. So that was what delayed the book coming out until about now, because I've probably binned about 45,000 words.
Oh, wow.
Slot this scene in. Maybe I should learn to plan a bit better.
Well, do you have a certain time of day that you're more likely to write? And do you have a special place that you do that, or can you do it anywhere?
First draft, I always write longhand, so it really can go anywhere with me. So I tend to write in the evenings. Once everybody's had dinner, the cats are all fed, and I've got peace for a couple hours, that tends to be my time to sit down. So it really does depend what time of year it is. If it's the summer and it's a warm evening, I can sit outside and I'll write outside. If it's, a cold winter's night, then I'm usually at the kitchen table, but it can be anywhere. I've been known to take it to work with me and write my lunch out at my desk. Just whenever you can find the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to do it, because you have It's been my experience, if you don't have at least a piece of paper with you, you're searching for something like a napkin or something to write idea on, because they come at such the most inconvenient times sometimes.
I know I've said many times I would be lost without Post-its, because the number of times I've come home from work with just a scribbled note on a Post-it stuck to the back of my mobile phone that's a prompt for something I've to write later on. So there's always a huge block of Post-its sitting on my desk at work.
Well, do you have a favorite type of character to write? Is there like a trope that you write, or just a theme that, constantly comes up in your books or anything like that?
I think because this is a series of books, it's been the same, on the whole, it's been the same group of characters all the way through. There's been extra ones added in now and again. So I think I quite like sort of a flaw in a person. I don't like your characters to be too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
So the two central characters up until now, Laurie is the female lead in it. She comes with her own baggage, so she's flawed. She's initially in recovery from an accident, so there's physical and mental things there that she's dealing with. There's hints in the first two books about flaws in Jake's past, and you learn more about them in the third book. So it just something a bit off the wall, something a bit unusual. There's another character I've introduced in this one that he's just a bit different, a bit eccentric as well. So
Okay.
trying to get the hook in of something different.
That's great. What advice would you give to new authors who might not, be quite ready to share with the world because they're too discouraged, or they don't have enough confidence? What would you say to them to give them the confidence to go out there and go ahead and write that book and go ahead and publish it?
Oh, good question. Actually, probably the advice I gave myself, because my biggest fear is letting people read what I've written. And that was almost a crippling fear to get over at the start. So what I did was I started my own blog and just sort of weekly musings. And I set myself the challenge for that year, I think that would be 2014, that I would post one blog post every week. Didn't matter what the topic was, just to get myself into the habit of writing.
Mm-hmm.
And, to me, it doesn't matter what you write, if you finish it, if you don't. As long as you've written something, don't throw it away. You might come back to it later. So if you were to go through the short fiction in my blog, quite a lot of them, while they stand alone as wee short stories, they could easily be expanded into something bigger later on if I had time. So I've played with ideas about what if the statues off buildings, sort of gargoyle type things and angels that you get on old buildings. There's one about what if they came to life. So I've sort of played around with that idea. Then more recently I've played around with the idea of what if you could hear other people's conversations in your head, you tuned into somebody's mind, what would that lead to? So I've been playing with that. So just write some more, and read. The more you read, the more inspiration you can gather as well.
I agree. And I love the creativity in that, and gearing the blog posts towards more creative writing instead of, I know a lot of blogs are just more, well, this is how everybody else does this, and this is how you should too. So if you have more creative blogs, I think that makes it more unique. So I really like that. I'll have to check some of those out. Do you have any writers or any books or series that have influenced you as a writer yourself?
I love Anita Shreve's books, and the ones in particular that have the house in Fortune's Rocks. Because I don't know if you've read any of her books, she's got 3 or 4 that are set in the same house but in different time frames with different owners in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that idea that you've got something central that's not the character. The house almost becomes a character, so I like that. I love Diana Gabaldon's Outlander series. I've read all of them, so if nothing else, that makes me think, well, folk are still selling big books, because I've had some criticism that my own book babies are quite lengthy. They're between 400 and 500 pages, and folks think, oh, for a romance that's too much, but there's not much I felt I could trim out the story. So.
Mm-hmm.
I also like Paulo Coelho's novels. The Alchemist's one of my favourites, just for there's always room for a fairy tale in this world. You can always chase your dreams.
I love that. What do you hope your future looks like? And I don't mean 40 years from now, but in the next 2 or 3 years, what are some things that you hope to accomplish?
Oh, sell more books. Probably sell enough that I can cut back in the day job, because I work full time as well, so squeezing the time in. But, I would like to have more time to write more stories. So I've already started something new that's not quite Silver Lake. It's a bit different. So just to keep continuing what I'm doing and to hopefully selling a few more and making some money out of it. But the money's not the be all and end all. I think the best feedback I've ever had was somebody stopped me in the office cafeteria and said to me that she'd read the first book, and it wasn't really her taste, but she'd enjoyed it, but it had made her pick up other books and keep reading. And I thought, job done. If I've made somebody else pick up a book and read, what better praise is there than that?
Exactly. That is wonderful. Are there any genres that you have not written yet that you would like to explore?
Oh, probably more the kind of gothic horror side of things.
Mm-hmm.
I do like a good Stephen King, so something along those. I've kind of touched on it with a couple of short stories, but I've never really expanded on it. And I love Danielle Trussoni's Angelology and Angelopolis, because it's the nasty angels. So probably something down that vein.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really into thrillers and detective stories. That's just not me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not very good at comedy, so that would be right out.
Okay. Do you have a certain point of view that you like to stick to? Because a lot of writers say, I can only write first person, I can only write third person, I can only do third person limited, or something like that. Is there one particular one that you like to stay to? Do you explore them all? Is one of them your favorite?
I probably try and stick to the third person.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably, I always think it's a bit safer.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you're jumping between characters' head spaces, I can find myself getting confused. So you've maybe started a chapter in a female head, and then halfway through it, you've suddenly realised, oh, wait a minute, I've moved into the male character.
Mm-hmm.
So third person always feels a wee bit safer. First person, I've tried a few times, but I'm less comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I just need more practice.
I think they all take practice to get exactly right, because I know I had, when I went from first person to third person, I had a lot of problems with head hopping, and I had to go back. Oh, no, she doesn't know this or he doesn't know that, and we're not gonna be in their thoughts right now in the narrative. I have to make sure that I get this right. So it's more complicated, I think, than people think. I think a lot of people think writing is just, okay, I've got a story, I'm going to write it down, and now I've got a book. But it's so much more.
And you become obsessive about the characters. They stop becoming characters and become imaginary friends, and then you're starting to think, oh, I wonder what they're doing, and you're going, wait a minute, they're not real. I think
Exactly.
it's almost 4 years straight that I've been writing about Jake and Laurie, and I thought, no, I need to take a break because I'm starting to confuse reality and fiction with these people here. So let's just put them back in their box for a wee while, and we'll write about somebody else.
I can totally relate to that, because I'm like, well, Finn would like this, or Bree would really have an opinion about this, but oh wait, no. I can maybe put that in the story, but they're not real, like you said. Oh. Well, I guess that's all I've got for today, but it was so great to get to talk to you. And I'm sorry about our technical difficulties.
We overcame them eventually.
Yes. But thank you so much for letting me talk with you today.
Thank you.
Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us. I'm going to leave links to all of Coral's social media and websites in the description. Please check them out. If you or someone you know would like to request a Feel Good Friday interview, please send an email to info@fiction-atlas.com with the subject line Feel Good Friday. Thanks for listening. I'll be back next Friday with more inspiring author stories.